Hi, I'm Lavisha Ashford, and this is my Interpersonal Communication project for Human Services 508 with Liberty University. Throughout this presentation, we will define communication, interpersonal communication, enlarging the conversation. I will also identify my overarching goals, my behavior blends, and we will discuss potential communication barriers, solutions to those barriers, and a plan of action for my future. Communication. Communication is a continuous process of verbal and nonverbal meeting, an ongoing process where there is an exchange between the talker and the listener. Stewart, the author of Bridges, Not Walls, simply states the conversation is the relationship. Interpersonal communication is the kind of communication that happens when people involved talk and listen in ways that maximize the presence of the personal. It requires inhaling what we take in as well as exhaling what we give out of both the talker and the listener. Enlarging the conversation. Based on the information I gathered from this course, my definition of enlarging the conversation is a form of communication that is open and honest, allowing both participants to maximize the role of talker and listener, thus creating a more effective line of communication. Enlarging the conversation involves non-verbal communication as well as self-disclosure. I can help enlarge my conversation by nexting. Asking myself, what can I do to help? What happens next? Stewart simply defines enlarging the conversation as a direct link between the quality of your communication and the quality of your life. Stewart emphasizes the importance of self-disclosure, revealing to another person how you perceive or are reacting to the present situation, and giving information about yourself and your past that is relevant to the understanding of perception and reaction of the present. Overarching goals. My overarching goal is simple. I would like to become a level 1 listener. Level 1 listeners listen empathetically, does not allow personal or outside distractions, and suspends one's own thoughts, feelings to give attention solely to the talker. Currently, I am between a level 2 and a level 3 listener. I often tend to interrupt, and if I'm not interrupting, I listen in spurts, tuning in and out to the conversation. My behavior blend. First, let me give you a little background on me. I'm the oldest of 2 children. I am married and I have 2 daughters of my own. I currently live in Okinawa, Japan, and that is because I work with the military community. All of this leads me to what my behavior blend is. We did a behavior assessment through Uniquely You, which gave us information regarding our personality. There are 4 categories to Carbonell's DISC assessment. Most people have a combination between 2 and 3, 2 or more of these categories. It is broken down into DISC, which stands for a variety of active, passive, task-oriented, and people-oriented. D are people that are dominant, driving, and doers, while I is inspiring, interesting, and interactive. S, they are supportive, steady, and stable, while C, they're usually cautious, confident, and a little bit more careful. It is also broken down into what is expected of me and what is me. What is expected of me? I'm a high IDC. I am determined, strong-willed, talkative, and analytical. What is me? I'm ID. There are positive and negative characteristics to each. The positive characteristics is I'm driven, inspiring, influencing, and decisive. While my negatives, I'm a little too forceful, a little dramatic, impatient, and I tend to be a little bossy. People usually see me as outgoing and involved. I don't like to sit still, and I prefer working in large groups rather than small. People recognize my leadership skills, and I stand out because of my confidence and my ability to influence others. Communication barriers. There are several barriers that exist to communication. A few of those are physical, listening, and external barriers. Solutions to potential communication barriers. Take emotions out of the equation. Work on becoming a little less defensive in my communication. I need to keep an open mind and listen rather than interrupt. Oftentimes, I am too emotionally charged, which causes me to become defensive, and rather than listen to the talker empathetically, I begin to interrupt the talker. I need to learn to speak truth and love rather than anger. Do a little better job of listening and talking rather than accusing or judging. Noise pollution. What is noise pollution? Noise pollution is any unwanted sound that interrupts the personal communication. There are internal and external noise pollutions. Internal pollutions are any negative thoughts or distractions that enter into the mind of the talker or the listener. While external pollutants are any electronic device, cell phones, televisions, anything that can distract you from the communication. Solutions to noise pollution. Peterson suggests we use the talker-listener card. Talk without accusing, judging, or labeling. Give the speaker your full attention by taking your mind off of any internal or external pollutants. My plan of action. It's fairly simple. I plan to use Peterson's talker-listener card. I will learn to talk to individuals without judging, accusing, or labeling. I need to take emotion out in order for me to do that. I will become more aware of verbal cues, and I will work on becoming a level 1 listener. Now that one is going to take me a little longer, but I plan to use my plan of action in order to become a level 1 listener.
Thank you for viewing my Interpersonal Communications project. I pray that it will bless you and it will inspire you to make changes of your own with your communication.